I think this is the way we want to work. We want to start. We want to show them the solutions and maybe to adapt these solutions to other use cases and are getting more creative with the solutions.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Summer of Atlassian 4.0. Today I'm working with Shem from JAP Connect, and this is the second time that I've met him, technically, but it's the first time we're going to be chatting because last time there's a little bit of a technicality. So Shem, welcome to the show and thanks for being here.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate to be here. And it's cool, I think, to talk with you this time a little bit more.
Yeah, last time I was reviewing, I was looking you up last night to see what should I ask him. And as I'm doing my research, I'm like, I can't believe I've had this guy in the Jira life. And I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, how in the world did I not remember? And that's because I came in 30 minutes late. And as soon as I
Yeah,
came in, we started talking about Scott's
yeah,
farewell
yeah,
that we just never had a chance to chat. So I'm glad that we get to start it all over. And I'm sure we'll have some fun here.
yeah.
So it's been a year. It's been a little over a year. What have you been up to since you've been on the Jira life a year ago?
Yeah, what happens? I think much more happens. We got more clients, we got more cool solutions, we got the possibility to, yeah, create some new things. And I started now, I think 6 weeks ago, I started a podcast also, but it's German podcast. I think it's the only one German podcast who's talking about Atlassian or Jira things. So we will in this we're making things which the companies are doing. It's not only like making concepts or talking about some terror things, so like making plans. So we're doing things, we're talking to people from companies, but I'm talking to people from to companies, how they are working. And now I started a new format where we talk about the solution. So one episode is the company says what's the problem, and the next one I show a solution in the podcast. So it's called Mr. Connect,
Mm.
because some friends of me said I should start a podcast. It will be maybe a cool thing for the companies. Yeah, and now it's the only one which is in German language for Jira. Yeah, this is I think
That's
the
really
most important.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's
Ah,
really
thank
cool.
you.
I
Yeah.
was looking at it yesterday and definitely I was like, well, this is gonna be a problem. I hope the first thing I told my wife, I'm like, he knows that we're doing this in English, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And she's like, well, he responded to me in English. I'm like, well, I hope so, because I don't know any German.
No, but it's a cool thing because it's the only one, yeah, German. So it's for my companies and for the people here in Germany. It's I think a good thing, yeah, and it's
Yeah,
making fun, yeah,
and I recognize a familiar face. Bjorn is a huge supporter of what I do here and what we do on the Jira Life. So it's always nice to see a friendly face. And it's really nice to see Bjorn in his natural element too, because every
yeah,
time I'm interacting with Bjorn, it's always in English. And to
yeah,
see him in German
yeah,
speaking, like that was
yeah,
I'd never seen that side before.
yeah, yeah. It was also um, not difficult, but a little bit strange or weird for him to talk in German because he's talking much more in English the whole day with his customers. So, but yeah, it was already cool that he
It's
was here. Yeah,
and I want to pick your brain a little bit then because clearly your English is really, really good. So why make it a German podcast?
because of my customers, and
Okay.
because of the people who maybe I have not so much contact to Atlassian um, communities and so on. Maybe they are not going to Barcelona, they're not going to Anaheim or to Las Vegas because their English is not so good, or maybe they think their English is not good enough to go there. So it's for them much more easier um, to hear it in German.
So you're
And
localizing it to them, personalizing it to them, but
yeah,
also things that are relevant to them
Yeah,
because your customers, I'm assuming, are also localized
yeah,
to Germany.
yeah. That's it, right?
That's not a
Yeah,
that's not a bad play.
you can imagine if you said it 2 3 minutes ago. If you will now making this episode in German with me, so how would you feel to make it in German? And
It would
maybe
be
you can
yeah
think how they feel if they hear a English show. So it's good for them to hear it in their language. Yeah,
yeah it's such a great point because a couple of things that come to my mind. One, I speak Spanish, and I've been flirting
yeah,
with the idea of making a Spanish Jira channel 2 years now, maybe three.
yeah.
I just I don't have confidence in my Spanish to do it, but maybe this is the push that I need.
I can I can only say one thing to you. Just start it, and you will see the weeks how it will go. This I think is the same situation if you started the Jira life. So maybe you are the first months, weeks, you are thinking how it will go, and now I don't know how long it's this.
It's been 2 years. So
Yeah,
we started at Team 23 officially.
yeah, yeah,
But really we kicked off Memorial Day, like, so end of May 2023. So it's
yeah,
coming up on 2 years.
yeah. Maybe this will be in Spanish, going the same way.
The Jira Life in Espanol. But I think it's a smart idea. Have you met Lamec from he used to live in Brazil, but I think now living in Spain.
No.
So this is gentleman. He has a YouTube channel on Jira concepts as well, but it's all Portuguese,
Okay.
and he has 30,000 plus subscribers. Like, he has a lot of subscribers,
Wow.
but what I suspect is he's monopolized that Portuguese market, because anybody who speaks Portuguese and is interested
Yeah.
in Jira, I
Yeah.
guarantee you subscribe to his channel. And I thought it was a very smart idea to localize, right? Because, like what you said, like, I would struggle because you have to translate in your brain from your native language to the other language, and to
Yeah.
just have it automatically your native language makes more sense because you don't have to think so hard.
Yeah, but it's also easier for me. So I think the content I create in German is better than I created in English, and the customers, yeah, that's much more easier for them. Like, you drive in the car and you hear the podcast, so it's easier to get with this ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get so first of all, I love the German community, especially when you compare it to the United States. I think in the United States, it's so much more cutthroat. But every conversation I've had with like any member from Siebert, any member from
Yeah.
Resolution, the the environment has just been so inviting. So I think you have that going for you, that if you had an English podcast, it wouldn't work out as well. But the reason I'm asking you this is because it's an interesting angle that you've taken to talk about case studies specifically from within your customers, right? Or your clients, because most of the time folks want to keep that private. They don't want to share
Mm.
that
Yeah.
information. So again, I think it might be a cultural thing, because here in the US,
Yeah.
you would have a really, really hard time getting those stories.
Okay. So I will now explain the name of my company, JAP Connect,
Okay.
because I start with the end. It's I was thinking about the name, and I was thinking about a Jap, and with the B at the end, and I'm
Okay. Okay.
thinking
Like,
to give all the it's. I hope it's okay for everybody. I say it now. It's like giving this whole companies who don't want to share the knowledge with each other or with the customers, to give them all a jab.
yeah, a little
Um,
wake up call, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
because
that makes sense.
I was working 18 years in one company, and 12 years I was there an in-house consultant for the Atlassian tools, and it was very hard for me to get in touch with any consultant. So and that's why I want to make it in another way, and I'm thinking about to know how I can use Jira, because I'm specialized at Jira systems, and the knowledge how I can use the system is making uh, is making or is not making anyone as a good consultant. You have to know how you can work with this features you got in Jira. So and this is my thinking. So I want to share all my knowledge about Jira, about process, about creating some values, because I think everybody it can help everybody, and if they need a little bit more um, training or a little bit more explaining why Jira is working in this way. So I give it to them. So
Yeah.
because my customers have in-house consultants, each customer of mine has in-house consultants, and I call me sometimes the third level support of them because they try things by their own, the special things we are making and explaining to them. So we are templating also things and they can copy it like in complicated automation. So our templates to create new projects on onboarding things we created one time and they get all the stuff and can copy it how much they want to copy it. So they and that's it for us. So because so it's for me it's cool. I'm not making every week the same thing. I'm making every week new things or every month, and so we're getting almost cool projects. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
and that's
I was
my idea of it. Yeah,
I think it's a very smart idea as well because I was talking with Axel from Atlassian this morning, and he's a product manager who is not just a product manager, but he's an evangelist of product management. And so what he
yeah,
does is his role, his job at Atlassian is to teach
yeah,
others how to do the role and the job of a product
yeah.
manager. And this is eventually what we're
Correct.
doing, right, with Jira, right? We are technically evangelists showing people around the world how to use a tool that is, let's face it, not easy to use,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We have in Germany so many discussions about Jira. So it's not looking sexy. It's not intuitive. So you cannot work good with them. And Monday is better. This is better. This is better. So I always say, no. So go there, take it, and work with another tool. But if you want to make good things, and if you are getting bigger and you don't only want to get a Kanban board and list only your to-dos and have three lines or three spaces, if you want to automatize things and to create some value, so you need to get in touch with Jira because
Yeah.
this is for me the most important thing in each company. This is I'd always say this is the heartbeat of each process in each company, and the most people don't see it because it's hidden. It's Jira is not at the front. You don't see it, but it's the heartbeat. It's every time in the background. Like now you also don't can see my heart. You can see my um, my
your
JAP
camera.
Connect, yeah, but you cannot see my heart. It's inside, and this is how I pronounce and how I see Jira in each company. It's inside at the heartbeat, and but nobody can see it. So, but it's
But
yeah, this is
but
my thing.
it's almost like Atlassian's gonna change that though, right? Because teamwork
Mm,
graph. Are you up to date with everything that Atlassian's been announcing?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think teamwork
Björn,
graph is gonna
Björn have updated me.
I love Bjorn. I take it you didn't get a chance then to come to Team 25 in Anaheim.
No, April is for me a hard time because my son has birthday. We have holidays with the kids, and so it's in April. It's not
Listen,
possible
there's no better
for
place to
me.
take a holiday with your family than Disneyland. You should have brought them over.
Yeah, but he was getting 1 week ago 2 years old, so Disneyland is not now good
Nah.
thing for him, but it will be.
Well,
But I'm going to Barcelona. Yeah,
okay. I plan on being in Barcelona as well, so hopefully
yeah.
we can meet up then.
So if you are in Barcelona or the whole Jira Live team, um, give me an input when you will be there. So maybe we will get one day before the Jira Live in touch. We can get some uh, tacos.
German tacos or Spanish tacos. So it's interesting that you bring that up because right now we are actually in the middle of trying to figure out is there interest to do something before the conference
Yeah.
And so right now, I know we're probably gonna get there. I would like to get there on Friday. I would like to get there like
Yeah.
2-3 days before,
Yeah.
just to acclimate, because it's a 9-hour difference for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was showing my wife, I'm like, well, when the keynote happens at 9 a.m., it's gonna be midnight here in California.
That
So
you're
I
right.
definitely want to go early to figure that part out. But second, Rodney, my co-host, my partner in crime, he was already kind of thinking of we should plan something to maybe do a local meetup or something. So I do not see that happening. Like I think it will happen. I think we're gonna do something. So I'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
At the
Cool.
very least, it's gonna be Rodney and myself that are gonna be in
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
We are definitely planning. But going back to teamwork graph, right?
Yeah.
So teamwork graph to me feels like Atlassian putting Jira at the center of not
Yeah.
just a project, but your entire company,
Yeah.
right? Because everything is going to revolve around that teamwork graph.
Yeah. I think they have taken the most important features for teamwork, like the resources, the skills, and put it together in the teamwork graph. Yeah, that's how I
And
understand it. Yeah.
but going back to your like videos like yours are going to be even more important than ever because the part that I like of from what you're describing about your videos is that and there's so many different ways to set up and configure Jira, but there's only a few ways to set it up correctly.
Yeah.
Right, and
Right.
this is why it's so important to hear how other teams, how other companies are doing it, which is part of my conversation with Axel about that evangelism, where I feel like we need more, not step by steps. Like I don't think it's fair for me to say you should follow steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you would be successful. But at least understanding the pros and the cons of different paths that you can take, so that you can ultimately arrive at the solution that makes sense for you and your company. And with teamwork graph, again, if you don't set it up correctly, then you might not yield the results you're going to want correctly either. I was going to ask you, how do you see your role then with Mr. Connect and with your company in helping
Yeah.
shape what that looks like in the future?
Yeah. We want to I can call it maybe agile or anything else, but I want to get the companies or the people to get started with the work, to get started with Jira, to get started with their process. And we will not make any concept 3 months and then we will build it and start. So we will making 80% of it in a very short way, in a short time, and then we will start and we will learn on the way. We will getting better. So I think it's if you take 6 months and I will maybe make a concept 3 months, 4 months, we'll make training, and after 6 months we start with the project, and we will see how it will work in real life. So we see so much problems. The people are working in different ways, and they are not reporting, they are not creating issues, they are not working with them. And if we start after 4 or 6 weeks, and we maybe start earlier, it will not be perfect, but after 6 months, we will already been 4.5 months on the way on the work, and we will be on a much higher level after 6 months if we will start with the concept at the point zero in 6 months. And that's my idea of the companies. And I say to them, we have many ideas. We have like many. I don't know how to say it in English. In German, there is a wording we say in German, ein Werkzeugkoffer. This is like, I have to translate it. One
Or
moment.
in the chat,
Uh,
in the comments, if anybody knows what he just said, let me know.
yeah, I will say it to you. It's like, yeah, you have a big tool case
Mhm.
of tools, and this big tool case is Jira. So, and we got a very huge, very big tool case for Jira.
Uh-oh.
So if anybody get a problem, we only have to search for this, because we are now working with my employees. The whole, if I count it together, we are altogether over 20 years of experience with Jira, working with Jira. So we have many solutions and we have only to check it in this tool case and to show it to our customers, and they have to believe in us to make it, and then we will start and we will show them how it can be working. Yeah, and this is the idea to the big tool case we got. So we got so many solutions and we want to share them with the customers or with other companies. And so I think both of them, they and we, can learn from each other, and maybe the solutions are always getting better and better. And I think this is the way we want to work. We want to start. We want to show them the solutions, and maybe to adapt the solutions to other use cases, and are getting more creative with the solutions. So maybe, because I know if you have a big consulting company here in Germany, so you need more consultants. We are now to 6. I have 5 employees, and we're a very small company, and we cannot.
A silver partner, nonetheless, though.
Can you repeat it?
You're a silver partner, though.
Yeah, and we're getting now. We are on the way to get a gold solution partner. And yeah, but I don't have so much consultants, and it's now just it's very difficult in Germany to get good consultants, to get good employees. So my way is to getting creative, how we can have big customers and how we can help them to getting better. So one position were to get 10 more employees, and they were making the interviews and creating the solutions at the customers. We are doing it in a different way. We are making trainings with the customer, IT departments or in-house consultants for Atlassian, and so we can work with many big companies and showing them how they can work by themselves. So we are like a trainer, like a coach, and we will be on a way with them where when they learn how to work with the lesson tools or getting better. And this way is not an intensive way, like 3 or 6 months, but it's much more over years. But it's not so intensive. Yeah, like we are not working every week, each of us 20-30 hours with a customer. So it's a long way, but we will get in this together. This is
Now,
the
are you
idea.
primarily, is your customer base primarily in Germany or Europe or
Yeah.
all over the world?
No, yeah, the headquarters are all in Germany, and they're all located here in the near of my city. I'm living in Oldenburg, in the northwest of Germany, and so we are getting in touch with them also once a week or once a month. So I drive to them, and we're making much workshops in present, so in person. And this is after Corona or COVID. It's they want to get this.
Yeah, they want to do it.
Yeah, they want to make it in touch. And here in the northwest Germany, I think I'm the only one solution partner from Atlassian here in my region, and I love to go there to make workshops with them in person. And this is the way we're working. But this is the headquarters. They have much companies all over the world. So US, not in the US, but in the Europe and Asia, they have one of them is now getting in touch with a US company. Yeah, but it's
I think it's different opportunities, right? Different ways of working. Last year I talked to Martin Siebert, and we were just talking about just German culture in general, because like your willingness to how you work, how your team operates, the culture, a lot of what you're saying on like, hey, we come in and help people like learn Jira, that requires that client of yours to have an investment and a commitment to want to learn it, right? Because it's not just as simple as like, okay, here's a bunch of statuses, here's your workflows, go.
Yeah.
Right, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Like you have to, they have to want to learn it, they have to want to need this, so that ultimately they can be more successful, because otherwise, then I mean anybody can do anything, right? Like ChatGPT, AI
Yeah.
getting pretty strong here. But
I said to many of my customers, you can use ChatGPT, but then you have to think about what you want to ask ChatGPT. And if you want to ask me, so I have so much use cases done in my now 15 years of working with Atlassian Jira. So it's much more easier to ask me because I know what they want to do. And ChatGPT, you have
not
to
only
give the
that, not only that, but I'm assuming you have like, you can walk into a problem in Jira and look at it
yeah
and already know the solution, right?
yeah
Because I
right
have that, right? Like I can walk into any Jira before you even finish asking the question, I already know what the question is
yeah
and what that
exactly
answer is. And you
exactly
can't get that
this
from a robot.
yeah this is it is what it is. Yeah.
Definitely. But I think especially in the world of consulting, it's an ever-changing environment, right? Where sometimes consultants are the first ones to go away in a like when the economy gets tough. But at the same time, they're worth it, because if you don't invest in a consultant, then you have to hire the talent in-house. And that's
Mm,
not cheap either, right? Like you can always hire somebody that doesn't know, and like a junior person, and they can eventually learn and get better and better and better. But that's a time commitment, right?
yeah
And
right
so I think a lot of companies, a lot of executives, they got to kind of balance bringing someone like you versus investing in different technologies or different methods to get
yeah
their skills where they need to be. Because like we've been mentioning throughout this episode, Jira is not something you can just turn on and just use, right? It requires some tweaking to get correct.
that's it. Yeah, this was my this was the reason why I decided to go to 100% of my time in Jira, because if I started 2 years later, I was thinking that will change. The change in Jira will be ongoing. This life in Jira, the Jira life, will never end. So it will always go on. And this was my thoughts about it. And then I decided to left my other things I was doing at work. I was writing um, or writing scripts and program software for production. We have produced books, and so I was writing software for um, getting the data automatically to machines, so the customers and the machines and the clients have not to prepare anything. They only put the paper inside, and everything else was automatically. So all my time I was making things like automatically to do anything. And Jira, yeah, was perfect for me to use it to 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 use Jira to automate things or making process better. Yeah,
I love how you said the Jira life never.
never
I
ends,
read it as the Jira life never dies,
never dies. Yeah, yeah,
right? It goes. The Jira life is forever, because when you think that you've learned everything in Jira, Atlassian is only going to come out with a whole new set. Like everything that they come out with that team, right? Like I think from an end user perspective, you're excited. You're like, yay, finally a problem that I've had for the last 20 years. They're going to fix it. But for me, it's like teamwork graphic gets me so excited, because like it's a whole new way of training and coaching teams to be more effective and productive with their tools.
yeah,
So that's a whole new mental shift that you have to do up there, right? It's not just knowing, again, statuses and workflows and required fields. You got to see the interoperability of all the other tools
yeah,
in your tool chain. And then the next part is, then there's new ways of doing the work. Like we have new features that are just built into Jira. We have new features that are built into Confluence that talk to Jira, right? And vice versa. So you're always having to learn something new. And I don't think Atlassian is going to stop anytime soon. I don't see Atlassian being replaced by another tool just yet.
no way,
No way.
no way. So I knew some people they were thinking about because of now you have to go on the cloud migration maybe and it's getting more expensive and everybody was thinking about. But if you look at the prices, let's talk about Microsoft. The price per user per month, and if you now let's go 8 years back to 16 to 17 to 18 and remember the prices. So we had a company 2000 users in Confluence and Jira, and for both systems with a few apps we have paid 12 euros, so let's say $12 or $13 per user per year. And they were thinking, then Atlassian comes with the data center, end of server was communicated, you have to go in the data center, license go up. And they were thinking maybe we can take another tool and make a migration and work with another.
No.
And I said, yeah, maybe we can do it, but now think about each tool was, I think, about in the standard version, about 20 euros per user per month. So I said, it's much more expensive than Jira and it can do less than Jira. So we will pay more and make less only because Jira is getting more expensive. If we pay the double value for the license, it will still be less than other tools. And if this is the thing is also, if you make a migration, doesn't matter which tool you take, you make a migration, let's say you take $500,000 to migrate with the whole Jira system. It will take 12 months. So you will be there, you have paid $500,000 and you have nothing more. So you can maybe pay a few years your license for the $500,000 and you're still on Jira system. So it's only a thing like they cannot understand why Jira is getting so more expensive. But they are still not. They still have a good price. I think so. They have a very good price, but they started on a low level. And not like Microsoft, Adobe, SAP. They are much more higher at the level, but they are much more longer at the market. So they are. So maybe in 30 years, Atlassian will be also the most expensive tool, but it's a long way for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
That that's how I think about
And
it.
I think Atlassian is going to is slowly getting prepared to do the same thing again,
Yeah,
because as we saw with
yeah,
Rovo when it first came out, $20 a month or something like that per user per month. I don't think it got the adoption that Atlassian was expecting, and so now it's included, aka free, in your Jira, right, and in your Confluence and in your JSM.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's one of these things where I see the roots again of the early days of Atlassian, right? Where it's free, so everybody's gonna flock to it, right? Everybody's gonna run, they're gonna start using it, they're gonna depend on it, they're gonna see the power of it, they're gonna see the value of it, they're going to need it. And when Atlassian's ready to charge, because you need it at that point, right? It's so intertwined with the fabric of your company, you're not going to have an option but to pay, because even if you move to another competing product, that teamwork graph is going to know everything about you. So Atlassian is really, I think, creating a walled garden that I don't think the likes of like Monday or Microsoft or ClickUp or any of these other tools are even thinking about competing at.
If you think about ClickUp have I have to check this. Had an promo advertising and about Jira. Do you remember 5 years ago? I think they were saying there was a ClickUp promo video, and they were said like an feedback talk between a manager and an employee, and the employee was Jira, and the manager and the manager was talking very bad about his employee Jira. So you have no features, you have no
Yeah,
update and
I think I've
anything
seen
else.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you think they had making a so, let's say, bad promo clip about Jira to make a good promo clip for ClickUp, and it even doesn't matter, but it was not interesting enough for Atlassian because Jira is the number one. So nobody can touch them with the featured art thing if you get good consultants and they make good things with Jira, because each other tool have a special thing to do it in a special way, and maybe only for standard process or standard things. But in Jira, I think you can do so much things together. So yeah,
but let's talk about that though for a second, because one of the selling points that other tools have, like ClickUp and Monday, is
yeah,
that flexibility that they give you. But I
yeah.
feel like that is an anti-selling point for me, because to be flexible, this is why I do not like team managed projects at all.
Mhm.
I hate team managed projects, right? Because I feel like too much power, too much flexibility, too much capability overwhelms a
Yeah.
team, a company, right? And when you have, like, I want to be able to have a set of guardrails, and I want to go crazy in the inside of the guardrails, but I still want the guardrails, right? I still want to say, okay, this is safe. Anything in here is safe. But with all these other tools, there are no barriers, right? Like, you can do. I was working on a ClickUp client like 2-3 months ago, and I remember my client telling me, "Hey, do this in ClickUp," and I'm like, "Do this?" I'm like, "How?" Because Jira doesn't do it. And I go and I'm googling it, right? Like, do this in ClickUp, and I'm like, "Oh, dang, you could do it in ClickUp." And then he's like, "Yeah, just do this and this and this," and I'm like, "Those are not possible in Jira." And he's like, "Well, this ain't Jira. This is ClickUp." And like, ClickUp is so powerful, but because it's so infinitely more powerful, it's infinitely more overwhelming and more challenging to set up. And you cannot run a business when 50 different departments work in
Yes,
50 different ways. Like,
that's
it's
it.
it's like if your company spoke 50 languages and you said, "Go work together," and you're like, "How? We can't even talk to each other."
The human beings want to get a management, like you said it, to get a straight way. The most people want to make it so in this way. They don't want to think about which status I will now take, which color I take. They want to get a prepared and board which is ready to use.
Yeah. So I think it's all a balancing game, and again, this is
Yeah,
why I appreciate Atlassian
yeah,
as much as I do,
yeah,
because even
yeah,
though Jira, I would say Jira is very powerful, but it's not as
yeah,
powerful as some other tools. But I think that's a good thing.
yeah. Okay. I want to say one more thing about the usage of Java, because I remember I make a satisfaction survey
Okay.
and one customer for one customer we made it, and because they were not thinking about how important is Jira as a lesson, because it's all in the background. Yeah? That's what I said in the beginning of Jira working in the background. So we make a satisfaction survey and we were asking, do you know Jira? How often do you use Jira? How happy are you with the features? Have you contact to the support team? How happy are you with the service you get with the support team? Is anything missing in your opinion in Java? So a very easy form, and the people can um, give the feedback. And so we give this satisfaction survey to the boardroom and said, here it is. Now we see how often the people work with Jira. So we make one internal survey, and the company decided we also will do one external survey, because they're thinking that's not right in this survey, because Jira was the double time used every day than Microsoft and SAP. So they see this is the most important tool in this company, because you are working more on the board with your issues than with your email or with your teams or with SAP. But nobody was thinking about it because it's all in the background. So we make a survey and they said that's not possible. We have SAP, then we have Microsoft, then we have maybe Adobe, anything else, and On the low
Later,
side,
eventually, you get the Jira.
there is Jira. We are using Jira. Yeah, we're using it a little bit. Yeah. So this was the feeling of the company, and they said it's not possible. Your satisfaction survey is not right. So they decided to take an external person who make the same thing, and they said, yeah, it's true. It's Jira is the most used tool in this company. So, and there I want to add this one, how important Jira is, but not it's not on the not everybody see this features on the work which the users are doing there. Yeah.
Yeah. And Atlassian's really positioning themselves to not only double, but triple, quadruple the importance of Jira with their system of work. Because they
Mm.
don't want just these technical teams using Jira. They want all the teams.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do in your company, you should be in Jira in some capacity. And
Yeah.
I think this is going to position again Atlassian between that teamwork graph and that system of work. There's no way, there's no reason why you would want to use any other tool at that point. Like,
Exactly. I think it's that it yeah it's exactly that thing. You don't have to use another tool. I have so much experience in companies. They said we have to buy a tool, or we will try to make it in Jira because we it's all already there. We've already paid for it. Each user has a license, and we can do it with Jira. So maybe Jira is not born for this feature, but we can do it, and it will cost us nothing. So,
yeah,
and
I've I've been in those
that's it.
situations. I built two custom tailored, I wouldn't call them apps, but using Jira, I customized the workflows, the fields, what got required, automation rules, all this good stuff, so that I could build a tool. I actually replaced the capabilities of a different tool that was just way, way, way too expensive. And I was able to build like 80% of the solution in Jira. And it was good enough, right? It was good enough for
Yeah,
80%. And
exactly.
folks were able to use it, they were able to interact with it. And sometimes I don't even need the last 20%.
That's it. Yeah. I'm thinking the same way. But the people, when they if they start, they always want to get 100%. They are not thinking about maybe we will start with 50, 60 and getting to 80, and it's fine. They want to get the 100%, and they have to learn this, that not only Jira, each other tool is working on the same way. You don't get the 100% exactly, because the world is the different department, they have a co-working with each other department. You have to work with the marketing, you have to work um, with the technical stuff, and so,
Yeah.
and if everybody use Jira, so they're working. But if everybody will use another tool, they cannot share their work with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like different, it's like literally working in different languages. Like you
Yeah.
can't expect people
Yeah.
to work with each other when one speaks English and one speaks German only, right?
Yeah.
And it's very similar. And I don't know that a lot of, like, I worked in so many companies where somebody either has a lot of money or is just very careless, but they love to just buy tools, right? If somebody makes the tool, they own it. And I've always had a problem with that because I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I get that you're trying to solve a problem, but you can't throw a tool at the problem every time, right? Like, there's got to be a balance. Have you ever experienced something like that where people just buy tools just hoping that they can fix problems?
If you don't, if you now have now said that you know companies in the US which are working like this way, I have said you are talking maybe about German companies, because they are working in the same way. So you got tools there, and they're working for 1, 2, 3 years, and then they say, okay, now we have to integrate this in Jira, and you start take a look at this. But it's I know so many companies, they have different tools. We had now one case because I made a few years ago an onboarding between SAP and Jira. Um, I think it's the same thing like the Atlassian journeys they're creating now.
Hmm.
So we got a solution which is the same way like the journey. You start with the employee before he starts in the company. You start the onboarding process. It's an ongoing process. You have the license software assets, you have everything on this user, and also offboarding, you can make it automatically. And this was the journey. And we have presented it because Jira is in the house. They can use it for free, not for free, but it's paid already. We can implement this features in a few hours or in a few days because we got this ready in our tool case. But any manager decided Jira is not the right thing for this, we will buy a tool. But you have to buy a license, you have to buy new consultants, they have to integrate it. We have then to
Oh my
integrate
God.
this new tool to Jira because
Yeah,
the whole
'cause the
company is
data's
working with Jira. And
yeah, the
now
data's
one
in Jira,
department is getting another tool which is specialized on onboarding. Yes, it is. But maybe for companies who not is working with Jira, maybe, or with other tools, or if you only want to work with SAP, you can do everything there. You can also manage their working issues, working tickets in SAP, but it's making for finance and controlling and not for issue tracking.
yeah.
So,
No,
and that's
I've
it.
definitely been in that situation where everything's in Jira, all of it is in
Yeah.
Jira, but Jira doesn't do reporting very well. It doesn't do metrics very well.
You're right, Alex. You're
So for
right.
now, I have seen teasers. I've seen some people talking about maybe showing some new capabilities, but I personally haven't seen anything. But anyways, Airtable is an up and upcoming right tool that
Okay.
is coming out and it's gaining popularity, but it's expensive. And
What
so I
is
work
Airtable?
Airtable is basically I call it a Microsoft Excel in the cloud.
Okay. Yeah. But it's for Microsoft?
No, it's its own thing, but it's like if
Yeah.
Excel was way
Yeah.
more
Okay.
powerful. Do
Do
you
you
ever
know Power BI from Microsoft? Do you know it?
Yeah, I'm familiar. It's not quite Power BI because
Okay.
Airtable is basically. Did you ever use the best description I have of Airtable is? Did you ever use Microsoft Access?
I don't know. I think not.
It's been a while. Like 2007 was probably the last
Yeah.
time that
No,
Microsoft Access was
no,
updated.
I don't
It's
think
a
so.
database, but Excel is
Yeah.
technically a database. So Airtable is just a database in the cloud. The closest competitors Confluence databases, right?
Yeah.
So if you think of what Confluence databases is, that's what Airtable is. And so
Yeah.
Airtable is great because it's interoperable. So it can pull the data from SAP, it can pull the data from Jira, it can pull the data
Yeah.
from all the tools and aggregate it into one place. And then it has very powerful dashboard and metric capability building tools. And so I worked with a team that we invested into Airtable, but like you said, right? Like Airtable one per user costs more money. Two, they had to pay so many thousands of dollars to bring an Airtable consultant because nobody knew how to use Airtable, right? Then three, you had to wait because translating English into requirements is hard, right?
Yeah.
And it's not easy, and you're not gonna get it right. And then when you don't even know what you want, like it's iterative, right? It takes a while to tweak the tool, to configure the tool just the way you need it. I think a lot of people take for granted that Jira's been around for 20 plus years, right? So a lot of companies have a Jira because they went through the growing pains 10, 15, 20 years ago. Right? But it's so much more expensive, I think, to try to do or mimic what Jira can do. And I
Mm.
just don't understand why companies do it all the
Do
time.
you, have you ever used data plane reports?
I have not.
Not. It's the I used it on one customer. I think it's expensive, but it's very good to use it for for low level reporting. But it's a good reporting because you can split it, like you can make it in a way like tempo. If you have tempo reports, you can add accounts, you can add custom fields, and you can make it in data plane reports exactly the same way, but you get also um, the graphs or tables or pie charts. So, and this is very easy, and you can export it. So we make subscriptions and say, send me that every Friday at 12 a.m. and you get it in a PDF with the email. So if your manager is on the way, he will get these reports automatically. And I think it's a good way. I think it is for me, for my personal I think it's better than custom charts. I think
Yeah, no,
so.
no. Don't
Yeah.
don't be going there. Custom
Yeah.
charts is has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, but I think it's I will you have to talk in a few moments about your hard and custom charts. Custom charts is very has very much features for a dashboard. You can make so many things with it, but I think it's a dashboard view for operating things, and data plane reports is easier to use for the customers, for the users, because you have not so much possibilities to you have only possibility what you want to see, issues, work logs, status changes, and then you decide the view, and that's it. And in custom charts, I think it's too much for the normal Jira users. So, and
Yeah.
now, Alex, please tell me, what is your experience with custom charts?
Well, it's less about the experience with the tool and more the experience with the people, right? So Chris Cook, when I was starting this channel
Hmm.
3 years ago, yeah, 3 years ago, he called me up one day and he's like, Alex, I want to give you money to make a video. And I remember like he was the very first person I ran to my wife and I'm like, somebody on the internet wants to give me money to make a video. And she's like, how much? I'm like, it's not a lot, it's a few $100s, but somebody wants me to make a video. And like that to me was like the first moment where like this thing that I've built here felt like a business. Because
Yeah.
up until that point, I was just making videos and making videos and making videos. And I get 20 views, 30 views, mostly my mom, right? And and it wasn't until
Yeah.
Chris Cook came through into my life that my life radically changed.
Yeah.
And custom charts plays a key role into my upbringing into the Atlassian ecosystem. Again, that
Hmm.
less about what the capabilities of the tool are, but more about like that's why I said it's a personal thing for me because and I
Yeah.
was kind
Okay.
of sad,
Cool.
right? I'm in a very sad state where Tempo has kind of taken over, and I don't know that they've I don't know if they would be treating the tool the way I would if it was still mine.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Okay.
nonetheless, like again, the custom charts and the crew, right? Andy and all the people that used to work at L Street Solutions, just phenomenal group of
Yeah.
people that I learned to get really close with over the last few years.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, did I understand it right? Chris Cook will be looking this video.
Chris Cook should be looking at this.
Should. So, if it's okay for you, Alex, I will take the possibility and to give you an idea of product discovery. I have talked with about this the first time with Josh from Grid.io.
Okay.
He called it Tinder feature.
Okay.
And because I wanted to make a Loom video and send it to the product owner for product discovery, but this is 1 year ago, and then I have no time to create it. But it only
Well,
will take 2 minutes.
Axel, who I was just talking to this morning, is on the product discovery team. And you're
Okay,
talking about Jira
so
product discovery, right? JPD.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We
I
might be
have
able to get it to somebody at Atlassian.
yeah.
Axel looks like he's a fan.
So I will give you my solution we made a few years ago to 16 to 17 to 18, and um, I will hear your opinion about it, and maybe you will trigger them and say, "Look at this video," because I just said why I'm asking me why I'm not creating an app on the marketplace, and I said I have no time for this. But if anybody want to get this idea and make an app, here it is, make it. But I think the best will be Atlassian will integrate it directly in product discovery, and you have not to install any app. So, and now that's it. Um, I will give you now this short description about it. I have not making it by myself alone, so I get another consultant. We made it together, but I think he will not be named at this moment. But if there will be a moment and he will contact me and say, "Yeah, you can say my name," I will do it. So I have not done it by myself. Um, I call this blind auditions, because
Okay.
let's talk about ideas. You have a company and you said, we are now collecting all the ideas from our employees to make things better, make a process better, make a product better, each idea. So let's open the window every hour because of fresh air or anything else. Every idea you put in an issue. And then you have to decide, you get, let's say, 300 ideas. And you get to look at each idea and select which idea is good, which idea is cool, which idea we will work on it. And then we had to find a possibility how we will get the people they want to take a look at these ideas and decide what to do. So we said we make auditions, and then we are talking about it, and we said we are making blind auditions, so you don't see the reporter, because maybe I will say, oh, Alex is making so many ideas, the next one from Alex I will not give their recommendation for it. So we make it, the reporter was anonymous. You have only the summary, so you have 250 characters to show your idea, and then we make a Kanban board. On the left, I think it was declined. In the middle, it was to do, and on the right is about recommendation. And we called it blind auditions. And you had the Tinder feature: swipe left for not good, swipe right for good. So you got maybe in 10, 15, 20 minutes, you got 300 ideas, and you can read only the summary and select swipe left or swipe right. And you had only 25 votes. So you have to decide to give the right vote for an idea.
I
And
can't see
that's
now.
it.
Now I see the Tinder.
Yeah, yeah. And I think for the product discovery, this is missing. And board, where you can say you have not to do it, but it's optional. You can say we'll make an audition about our employees, and we make it from Monday to Tuesday, 2 days. We have 48 hours. Audition is opened. You can select it, and then you got I got a web item with script runner to count the votes, and so you got a list and see the most voted ideas at the top level. So, and this was for the board members, it was very easy to take a look at this, because they don't want to waste time and look at each idea. So they take a look at the report and see, that are the 5 or 10 most voted ideas, and they are only concentrated on these ideas. So if Chris Cook or any product owner from product discovery will take a look at this, I'm open to share these ideas. I would appreciate it to get this feature and product discovery, because that's the way how I and how JAP Connect, how Mr. Connect is working. We share all our ideas, and I think it's much more better to get this feature directly in product discovery than create any app you have to
Yeah.
install and to pay for it. So
Well, thanks.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, no, we'll definitely. Josh is actually he's becoming a close acquaintance of mine, and so we're starting to work more and more together.
yeah,
And again, Chris is my biggest
yeah,
mentor that I have. So
yeah. Okay,
so,
yeah, cool.
anyways, I know we are right at the time here, so I want to be very respectful of your time, Shep. So thank you so much for coming on, and I'm glad that this worked out, and that I actually got to talk to you this time.
Alex, also for me, I appreciate it a lot to be here on the second time. Yeah,
Well, first time for me, but second time on the Jira Live, but first time still on here on
yeah.
Apetech. So
Okay,
we have
yeah.
a branding identity crisis problem within the brands. But anyways, so I'll be in Barcelona, so hopefully I'll run into you, and I'll keep
Yeah,
you
cool.
updated on what the plans are, and as it develop. And I'm super excited. I never left the United States in my life, and
Yeah.
so Barcelona is the first place that I'm gonna go to. And my Spanish is pretty good, so hopefully I don't die.
Yeah, I think so. So if your Spanish is good, so why not to go to Spain? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, again, thank you so much for being here, and yeah, then give me the links. I'll put them down below so people can go and subscribe. I think I'm subscribed, but I don't know German. So maybe next time I'll learn some German and I can go on your show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks,
All right.
Alex.